What is going on, guys? It's your boy HQ420. Welcome y'all back. Another episode of Showtime with the Cube. As always, I have got the powerful one with me, Corey Hughes. Corey, tonight, are you feeling powerful?
Not nearly as powerful as the protagonist of our latest series that we are reviewing, and that would be the one and only Mr. Loki.
Mr. Loki. He very powerful, okay? Very powerful indeed. His power transcends time, all right? This dude's managed to get his ass whooped and come back multiple times.
It transcends time, it transcends logic, it transcends reason, it transcends good storytelling. It is Loki.
That is Loki. Well, he is the god of mischief, okay? He is the god of mischief. So, hey, but we got to be serious, though. Like, he's been defeated. He wasn't killed, but then he was killed in Avengers Endgame. But then he was kind of resurrected because they messed up and they dropped the Tesseract. And when they were taking the actual items back during the Infinity War or after Endgame. And so that Loki technically got separated from the original Loki timeline, which Loki actually died to the hand of Thanos. And so it's just... So, yeah.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
There we go. Loki. We're in Loki Season 2. We appreciate everybody who's been checking us out so far. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Hit the follow button if you listen to us on podcast platforms. So we are in Loki Season 2. All right. The multiversal saga. And this, here's one thing that I will say about Loki. At least it seems like, Loki is trying to take the threat of Kang the Conqueror serious. He seems like he's got a little bit of urgency, as opposed to Janet Van Dyne, which didn't have any urgency and was banging him in the quantum realm.
Okay, hang on a second. Let us pause right here and do some much needed clarification.
Okay, let's go.
Clarification, because this guy is he who cannot be named or something like that, right? So this is not
he who remains.
He who remains. Right.
That's what he's in season 1. In season 1, that's
okay. So we got Voldemort Jr. over here, and this guy is or is not Kang the Conqueror.
He is Kang.
Okay. Because I'm confused. Because he kind of looked like Kang, but he kind of didn't look like Kang. It looks like a different actor from Kang. They never call him Kang. They call him He Who Cannot Be Named. And I'm like, what is going on here? I'm like, does this guy look a whole lot like Jonathan Majors, or what's going on here?
It is Jonathan Majors.
That's right. They never said it. They didn't say Kang one time in this whole damn show, and I'm sitting there scratching my head wondering if it's the same guy. Because I'm like, Marvel, that's not a whole lot of introspection going on if this is a different character, because it kind of looks like the exact same character. So I'm glad that it is the same character and not a different character, because then I'd be very disappointed in their complete and total lack of self-awareness.
Yeah, okay, I got you there, Corey. But this is the same guy. You actually don't see Jonathan Majors, Kang. He calls himself on this He Who Remains. You don't see him until the actual last episode of season 1 of Loki, when Sylvie actually strikes him down, which he allows her to strike him down at that point in time. And he actually talks about during that time, which it gives you some actually pretty good backstory of why he's trying to keep his variants from arising. He talks about it during that time because of the multiversal war he had, and he managed to banish the rest of the Kangs, defeat them, and create this one singular timeline. And so the whole purpose of it, and we're just giving you a little backstory, the whole purpose of what he was trying to do was to actually prune different events that could cause one of his variants to arise, because he knows how terrible he is as far as his other counterparts can be, because most of them, he said, most of them are evil, quote unquote.
Yeah, so he's there he's there, and they're confronting him. What's the chick's name?
Sylvie. Which is the female Loki.
Right. So he's with Sylvie, the female Loki who works at Burger King, and
McDonald's.
McDonald's. And he then says, Darth, if you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you can ever imagine. And then she strikes him down. And they hope for the best. And that's where we kind of left that one.
Yeah. So that's the end of Loki season 1. If you guys have not seen that, and at that point in time, Sylvie kicks Loki through a time portal. I still can't remember the name of those things for some reason.
Something door, the infinite door, time door, or something like that.
They got too many names and stuff up here. Okay, it's hard to keep up with all of it. But he kicks Loki through there at the same time that she stabs and kills He Who Remains, and so that kind of gets Loki stuck in what they call time slipping, if I'm correct.
Right.
Time slipping. So Loki is and what I do like about this is that at the end of Loki season 1 and coming right into Loki season 2, we kick right off to where we left at Loki season 1. So I do like that.
Well, let me tell you this, what I do like about it. Right from the jump, I felt this sense of need to know what was going to happen next. I kept having to watch because I actually wanted to know what was going to happen. So somehow they hooked me. Whereas all of the other Marvel crap we've been watching was like, sticking needles in my eyes trying to watch the shit. So
they were meandering. They were meandering in those other ones. So just to be honest, they really didn't have much of a purpose. Like Miss Marvel, She-Hulk,
right,
to say the least. That was our past.
This one they get you wondering stuff. They get you wondering stuff right from the jump. Like, oh my God, he's jumping through time. And then, oh my God, why doesn't he recognize him? What's going on in that time? So they kept giving you things to wonder about, and those were the hooks, and that was good. Whoever wrote this obviously has written something before because they did a good job.
They said, good, we got a writer who has written before. This is not the first time writing. And you see, what messed me up, okay, so whenever I seen, and I like how they kind of left it open-ended. At the end of season 1 of Loki, when he goes and Mobius is up there, he's like, Mobius, dude, we got to stop him. I found the guy who created the TVA, and Sylvie's killed him, and his variants are coming, but we got some shit on our hand. And Mobius is like, who are you? And so at that point in time, I thought Loki was in a different universe, but he's actually not in a different universe. He's in the past, which kind of threw me off. And so,
you mean before they came across Loki the first time?
Oh, no. I'm talking about at the end of season 1.
Right.
Okay.
And when he doesn't recognize him, and he's like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
So you're saying they were in the past before they had a reason to know who Loki was.
Yes.
Okay, so gotcha. Because I didn't get that either.
Okay, so and here's how you figure that out is because as he's time slipping in the first episode, whenever he's running away from the guys and stuff crashes, he crashes that flying vehicle into the window, and then the big TV falls and hits the floor, and then he time slipped back into the present, and he sees the crack on the ground. He said, "How long has that been there?" And the guy's like, "As long as I can remember." You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so at the end of season 1, I'm thinking, oh shit, it sent him to a different universe. But no, this is just the past where Kang had all his stuff set up. So you're kind of wondering at that point in time which iteration of Kang was actually running the TVA at that point in time. That's kind of leaving you thinking about, was it actually He Who Remains, or was it a different variant of Kang at that time? So that kind of leaves some open-endedness, and you're kind of interested in that, because I think I believe we're going to see the beginnings of the TVA itself. Renslayer seems to play a major part in whatever Miss Minutes is. I know it's like AI, but Miss Minutes is almost like the brainchild of the actual TVA operation itself as far as making stuff run. And then we've got Ouroboros, or they call him OB, which he's been down in the cellar forever, and he works on shit. And so he wrote the manual and stuff. So who's OB? You know,
he's the best character I've seen so far in this damn thing.
Yeah. Hey, here's what I'll say. like whenever the reason that I think Loki's the best thing that they did as far as the Marvel TV shows is because they pick they want to add some humor into it, and they pick an actual actor up who can do it properly, and it doesn't seem out of place. Owen Wilson.
Hang on, let me translate what you just said. You
Uh-huh.
just said that Loki is working because they actually have good actors involved.
Yes. Did I say
It's
that?
so
Is that what I
yes,
said?
that's what you said. It's so funny because Owen Wilson has I've never every time I've watched the movie and I realize that he's in it, I'm like, oh, it's an Owen Wilson movie. Okay, so like,
Mm-hmm.
if once he's in it, once he's graced the movie with his presence, it's an Owen Wilson movie, and that was never really a compliment for me. He always played the same kind of nerdy character, and it was like
Yeah, that's
this,
him.
and
That's him.
I'm like, who does that really appeal to? I mean, like, did he have something on Jeffrey Epstein? Is that why he got
To
all these
me,
positions? I mean, like,
it
what is
appeals
going
to
on
me.
here?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I've always kind of liked Owen Wilson. He's been. I love Owen Wilson in this role right here.
He
As
always
like,
plays a role that you want to punch the guy in the face, like in the movies with Ben Stiller and where they getting married. What are those movies? With Robert De
oh,
Niro,
Meet the Fockers.
Meet the Fockers. Like in that movie, you just want to punch him in the face every time you see the guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's got. I can't think of a movie that you don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So I actually, so this is perfect as opposed to like, like what they try to do with Thor: Love and Thunder, where they just try to make Thor just like a goofy character. It's like this is the guy who took the axe and threw that shit from the heavens right in the damn Thanos' chest and cut his head off. I don't want Thor to be goofy. You know what I'm saying? Owen Wilson can be a little weird and goofy and it not mess up the flow and the vibe of the actual show because that's what he's kind of known for. You know what I'm saying? So picking the correct characters and like the OB guy. So everything I've seen him in, he's been kind of weird and and so he's perfect for that particular role. So I think they actually did a good job as far as casting, and not trying to take characters not trying to make Loki where he's like a goofy character. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like they did with Thor. What do you think about that aspect of it?
Yeah. So I think here's a weird thing. Like there's a odd. I understand the multiverse and there's a million different Lokis and all this stuff, but he went from being like a royal dick to being like they really rushed a redemption arc for this dude in like one episode of this
Yeah.
show, and all of a sudden he's like the epitome of a good guy who wants to save the universe and the timeline. Like I'm like, it's a stretch. It's a stretch. So
Well, you got to think he's the whole time in the first season, he's he's trying to figure out who's actually killing people in the TVA. He's actually Owen Wilson has Loki helping him, trying to figure out who's actually killing the officers for the TVA.
right.
And then as him and Sylvie become more acquainted, and he wants to hook up with her, which is kind of weird. You want to hook up with yourself, but a female version, but she looks different.
Well, they do say that you are most attracted to faces that look like your own subconsciously. So,
Who says that?
psychologists.
Trying to figure out.
You
Is that
tell me
serious?
yeah, I'm dead serious. Are you telling me your girlfriend don't look like you?
No. Not in the slightest. It is not. It's not a Q with long hair. You know what I'm saying? She's not even black. I mean, I mean same color. So that's a negatory. So yeah. So yeah. As far as so at the beginning of the Loki season 1, this particular Loki is the villainous Loki. Okay, because it's the Loki that hasn't yet went through the redemption of seeing his father die and seeing Asgard be destroyed and reconnecting with Thor and all that. So technically, this would be the quote unquote evil Loki at the start, but then as he goes along, you know what I'm saying? And he at the end when he figures out, oh hey, he who remains may be doing something that's smart here. if the rest of his variants can do the same shit that he can, then
Okay, so I gotta ask, who the hell is their target market for this damn show? Because the average person who goes and sees Marvel shows is a lughead who likes to see stuff blow up. Okay, and odds of them being able to follow this kind of complicated narrative, I think, is shooting themselves in the foot a bit. What do you think?
There's potential. But I mean, with this multiversal saga, you had to do one show that was going to be multiversal. I mean, I know they did Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but that was more of a that was more fanfare because they put what was it, the Fantastic Four guy? God, what's the leader of the Fantastic Four? Stretchy dude.
The stretchy dude, yeah. You mean the actor?
His name. Yeah, but everybody wanted to see John Krasiak or whatever his name is as Mr. Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic. Okay.
Shit, boy. I mean, that shit about to escape me.
All right, we got to go through it now. We got it. We got the brick guy is the Thing, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then who else? Who would name the other two?
Human Torch. Invisible Woman. I don't think that's her name. Sue.
Invisible Woman. That could be fun.
Is her name Sue? What is her name? That ain't her name. Hey guys, okay, that was pretty bad, but that's okay. But okay, so they stuck that in there. They gave you Peggy Carter as Captain Britain. They gave you Charles Xavier. You know what I'm saying? And so that was more kind of fanfare as opposed to it digging really into the multiverse as far as Kang is concerned. So to be honest, Ant-Man tried to do something, and it didn't do anything at all. That's what it ended up doing. It ended up not doing anything. But Loki is really the only show that has really been multiversal as far as with Kang, to be honest.
Was Loki season 1, did it correspond with Ant-Man 3, timing-wise?
You see, that's what we don't know. There's people who are indicating that what was happening in episode 6 of Loki, the first season, and what was happening right when the Elizabeth Olsen became Scarlet Witch, that coincided per se. But there's like some, that's kind of hearsay. That's kind of fans kind of putting that
right
into people's minds. But you're not really sure if Ant-Man and the Wasp 3 is right after He Who Remains got killed, or if it's during the same time and He Who Remains doesn't know that particular Kang is in the quantum realm. You see, you really don't know. You've got no clue on that. I would assume that all these variants pop up after He Who Remains gets killed and the sacred timeline, quote unquote, gets unraveled. That's what the assumption would be. So I would assume that Ant-Man and the Wasp 3 would be shortly after Loki season 1. What do you think? Maybe.
I think this is making my brain hurt trying to figure this out. Yes. This timeline stuff drives me nuts.
Well, look, it would be all right if they would have probably done more stuff with the multiverse. The crazy thing is, like, this is called the multiversal saga, and like I said, Loki's really the only one that's been like doing multiverse stuff, to be honest.
You mean since Avengers ended?
Yeah, yeah, because even Ant-Man and the Wasp 3 it's not technically multiversal.
So
it's just they're in the quantum realm.
Is this currently multiversal, or is it just time travel-ish?
Well, it would be multiversal in the fact that the sacred timeline is creating different variations of events. Let's just say that, okay? And this could be used to do a reset, because as we see with General Dox, which I thought that scene was pretty damn funny when they were in there, and we had what's the woman's name? B-15, I think that's her name. Yeah, B-15. You had Hunter X5, which he's in the life he wants to live. He's Brad Wolf, and then a movie star, and then General Dox, which almost seemed like Hunter X5's mother or whatever. Boy, he's sitting there, and then you had the other dude over there. They having this meeting. Loki shows up like, man, Kang, this is Kang. This shit's real. And the other dude's over there asleep. The old man's over there sitting in the chair. He's just asleep. I was just like, okay, he don't give a shit. It's over. But there's something going on right there with Hunter X5, who ends up going into the past to quote unquote live out one of his lives as a Brad Wolf, which is a movie star, and General Dox, because we see that General Dox is actually blowing up different variations of the timeline. So that kind of makes you wonder if General Dox has a little bit deeper understanding and meaning, or a allegiance with Kang, or He Who Remains. What do you think about that? Or you
I
think
don't know.
she just didn't want shit to, she's just doing her job?
That seems more like the obvious answer, honestly.
Just
Yeah, just following orders. That seems to be when you're dealing with the time travel stuff. It seems to be kind of apparent that the suppression of their own lives for this role is bubbling underneath the surface, which seems to be coming kind of apparent with the next episode with Brad in particular, pointing out to everybody. And I thought this was interesting that all of the agents were plucked from their lives and had their minds erased in order to work this timeline. So I would see a fundamental existential crisis bubbling under the surface. Therefore, the easiest thing to do is to stick by your orders.
Right. And one of the weird things is that Mobius, who was Owen Wilson, he met OB years ago, but he didn't remember it because he got his mind wiped. So he's the only one that's ever met OB. Nobody else has ever met him. So this dude, like, he seems to be some type of inventor. It makes you think that maybe he worked with one of the Kangs, which I think we're going to end up seeing as Victor Timely, because at the end of the Ant-Man and the Wasp, what's crazy is that it set up Loki season 2. So it's just, I was like, hold on a second. You set up a Disney Plus show, but hey, I mean, it's whatever. But you may see where OB, Victor Timely, and also Renslayer, because when Loki goes into the past, he hears a recording where He Who Remains, Kang, is talking to Renslayer. So we haven't seen Renslayer in this particular season yet, but I got a feeling I don't know if that's a quote unquote significant other. Could that be it? A lover? One of many?
Maybe. It's a possibility.
one of many. She seemed to have a special bond, and Miss Minutes kind of came directly to her whenever stuff went awry in season 1. So Miss Minutes is completely on the outs right now, which that's a weird aspect, because technically Miss Minutes can like separate from the computer. So you would think it'd just be strictly AI, but that's something. Whatever Miss Minutes is, I don't even know what type of entity that would be. I don't. You know a little bit more about the comic side of it. I don't know if you ever got into the actual Kang saga.
No, not at all.
You never got into that. Okay, all right. So you don't have any information on this?
No, I sure don't.
So that's all good.
I just don't understand why they just keep calling him like he who remains. Like, I don't get that. Like,
that's what he called. That's what he called himself.
Yeah, but why ain't he Kang yet?
He is Kang,
but they don't say it. So they leave people who are usually fairly smart, like me, feeling pretty stupid because they don't know that, because they don't say that. So I'm sitting there wondering the whole time.
Well, I mean, he didn't want to just put his name out there like
Oh, I see.
in these streets. You just don't want to put your name out there in these streets like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm he who remains. Okay. I mean, that's the way you want to leave it. So we see at the end of episode 1 that Loki gets plucked from the actual timeline with the help of OB and Mobius, and at that point in time when he got plucked, he was in the future because he sees Sylvie coming up the actual elevator. And what's crazy about this right now is that chaos is happening at every single point in time within the TVA. Did you notice that? Like they're all seeing the timeline branches in the past and in the future.
Right. I noticed that.
Yeah, so it all seems to be happening all at once because Loki actually goes to the future a couple times in this episode, and he has to be pruned at the correct time so he can be plucked from the timeline. And he gets pruned, but he couldn't find an actual pruner. But I got a feeling that it was Renslayer that pruned him.
Why is that?
Oh, just because it seems like the natural thing. Like I haven't seen her yet, and then who would just randomly stab Loki in the back who actually knew who Loki was? Renslayer.
Right.
Yeah. So if she was doing the bidding of Kang, so I believe it was Renslayer. All right, I believe it was Renslayer that pruned him, which actually worked to their advantage because otherwise he would have been lost to time forever. Okay, so things have got to fall the right way as far as that goes.
So is it in episode 1 or episode 2 that he does the plucking?
It's at the end of episode 1.
When he puts the suit on and he's all talking about how if you screw up you're gonna lose all your skin and you're gonna be lost to time forever, right? So
your skin will melt off and you'll be lost to time forever. It's like good luck.
Okay, so I just want to state this for the record. Like the entire very basic premise of this entire show is just beyond ridiculous. So that is the foundation from which we have to go from. So cessation of disbelief in full effect here.
Yeah. Everything that's going on is completely ridiculous, outlandish, hard to follow. Okay, a little bit hard to follow, especially if you, all you really got to watch is the first season alone.
So the very notion that the entire timeline of the universe can be condensed into something that you can actually look at and visualize is just beyond ridiculous.
Past, present, and future.
And it's all like neon lights and shit. Whatever.
Yeah, that's it. So, so at the end of episode 1, we see this is post credit scene. We see Sylvie go back in time, 1982, and she decides she's gonna work at McDonald's. And I'm like, so hold on, you went through all this to go work at McDonald's? I mean that was it. She's and some people were saying, oh, when she walked in there, she's seen so many happy faces and everything. I'm like, y'all ain't walked in McDonald's happy. You know what I'm saying? That shit. Maybe that's the way it was in the 80s. Maybe people were like ecstatic to go in there. Would that be fine dining in the 80s?
You know something? In the 80s, it wasn't horrible. You didn't think it was horrible. And I don't think they were putting all the shit in the food that they are today. I think they were actually real burgers back then.
Yeah, preservatives.
Right.
That's the main thing. It's the preservatives. Okay. Everything else, it just is what it is. People have ate sugar forever. People have ate salt forever. People have straight up cooked with straight lard. Okay. Straight lard. And those people were not 500 pounds. Okay. Portion size and preservatives is all it is. That's it to a T. I mean, there's just really nothing else. I mean, that's
maybe the high fructose corn syrup.
That could clip you.
That's some nasty shit right there. Ugh.
That could clip you. But you wouldn't want to look at your insides anyway and see stuff operating. You'd be like, hey, this shit looks terrible. This shit looks real bad. So we jump into episode 2. They find Brad Wolf, X5. Okay, so they actually find him in the past, and he's living his life out, and he's found Sylvie. All right, so obviously he got sent by General Dox to find Sylvie, and this is what we were talking about earlier with General Dox out there bombing the timelines, which is insane. So it looks like there's potential that General Dox might have bombed the majority of the branches from what we're seeing at the end of episode 2. What do you think about that?
I'm sorry.
And,
Repeat that question.
okay, so General Dox,
Right.
okay, she had the plan where she was out there and she was bombing these separate timelines, killing everybody within that timeline.
So I personally, I disagree with the entire premise.
Okay.
When you trim a timeline, you're not really killing those people because they shouldn't have been there in the first place. Isn't that how that works? Right?
I guess
that's like saying we can't get rid of this rodent infestation because we'll kill the rats. Like you gotta kill the rats, okay? Like, and I was totally by the end of this episode when they showed that the timeline converged into one seamlessly nice timeline. I was like, yeah, the good guys won. So I don't know what the hell they were talking about. The universe is nothing without order. You need order and discipline.
And if you got to prune a few timelines, it just is what it is.
Yeah. Yes.
You got to kill billions of people.
The means justify the ends.
Well, from what they were saying, it was going to blow up the TVA, which it still might, because they can't get the blast doors open. So it still might blow up the TVA. There's still a premise there. But we see Sylvie. She's working at McDonald's. Loki has a brief conversation with her. Looks like he might want to kiss her. I'm like, don't do it. You're kissing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Which is still that's still very weird. Okay, I think that they're gonna have a moment. All right, they're probably gonna have a moment by the end of this season. We got 4 episodes left. I'm sorry, it's just only 6 episodes in the season, which is actually a little disappointing.
Sounds typical.
Yeah, but it seems like but damn, man, they gave She-Hulk 8 episodes. I mean, come on now. I mean, you giving some stuff more episodes. It's like this has got a lot of depth and a lot of explaining to do. So you feel like this would need more episodes. But I will say one thing: which lets you know that this was something that was actually somewhat successful in what they were trying to do. This is the only Disney Plus show that has got a second season.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah, there's not now. I've heard some rumblings that they're in talks again to have a Moon Knight season 2 and a Miss Marvel season 2. I'm like,
so I didn't watch either of those. Did you watch either of those?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I toughed it. I toughed it through Miss Marvel. Moon Knight had potential, but they squandered it. They made it too much of too big a scale. You know what I'm saying? With Egyptian
saving
gods.
the universe again. Oh, fuck it, yeah.
Yeah, Egyptian gods. And
Jesus Christ, Marvel. We just need a local drug dealer thug in the neighborhood, okay? That's all we fucking need. All right? Terrorizes the people and old ladies and stuff. That's all you need. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, get me the local bad guy. I think that's why Batman had been so popular, because it was just all local bad guys.
Yeah.
It won't not universe ending or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying?
It meant more. It meant more.
Yeah.
When you're saving the universe, there's nothing personal about it, right? It's the universe. But when you're saving the neighborhood and you got faces that you can attach to that, like in like Batman, when they're in the cars, right? They're falling off the bridge and they're in like the bus or something, and then like they all get saved out the bus, right? Like you got faces that are victims that he's saving because it's small and it's local. When you save the universe by destroying a stupid space rock, there's no personality to it. There's nothing there that makes people relate to it. And that's why these large scale superhero themes, I think, fail.
Exactly. So I guess that's the whole premise there. You got to make it more let's say, quote unquote, localized, hone in. But every time you're like, oh yeah, I'm about to bring this god back, and they're going to rain down the demons on Earth, and they're going to eat everybody. You be like, damn, man. I mean, can't they just steal some money or something first? You know what I'm saying? Whoop a couple kids in the street. I mean, we got to go take them out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, can't we do something like that? Like, what? Death Wish. You know what I'm saying? Charles Bronson. Death Wish. You know what I'm saying?
Great movie.
All I know is
violent movie. He actually gunned down some people who were running. That was not cool. So,
man, so they're running away. They say, man, I don't want no more. He shot him anyway. He's like, look, buddy, you got to go today. All I know is don't date Charles Bronson, okay? Because you were going to die. It was 100% chance. All right, that dude lost like 8 wives. Boy, I mean, it's like Death Wish 10. It's like, oh shit, I hope he ain't dating nobody. Hey, let me introduce you to my wife. Well, she must not know. How do you not know? Do you not have a paper? Have you not read anything? It's like, man, his past 9 wives died. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Man, that was a big theme, it seems, in like the early 80s and the late 70s. It was like this vigilante justice. I mean, there was a lot of movies I like The Exterminator. Like, that was another series that was like vigilante justice. Even like Dirty Harry, even though he was a cop, he was kind of looked at as kind of like a vigilante within the police force, right? Kind of like the badass who would just blow people away, right? It seemed like it was okay. Like, there was no respect for human life in the 70s and 80s in Hollywood.
Yeah, and usually his partner would get killed, so he would even go more off the rails there. So if you were Dirty Harry's partner, you got killed. Like, damn. I mean, it's just like, okay, maybe y'all need to read up on who you're partnering with. But then, okay, so we got off script. Back to Loki. We pretty much summed up what episode 2 was. They found Brad. They found Sylvie. Timelines got blown up. Question for you, Corey. Okay, question for you. Where do you see the next episode going?
Well, they've now at the end of season 2 recognized that there's a big problem that needs to get solved. Therefore, the next episode they will commensurate their solving of this problem, right? And so how they're going to go about doing that, I don't know.
Yeah. So the one thing they're trying to stop right now is the temporal meltdown, which is currently happening. But they can't get the blast doors open for OB to actually fix it. So it's going to have to be something, because they can't. Miss Minutes has the system locked out, where they can't access it.
So we're dealing with a classical literary situation of man versus environment. So that is what needs to be conquered, and that, I'm sure, will be the theme of the very next episode, in which they are successful. And knowing how Marvel works, it'll take the whole damn episode.
You think they'll be successful next episode?
Why wouldn't they?
Episode 4.
Episode 4. Okay. 4 so it'll be an examination of the problem in the next episode.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then they'll have a plan to execute the solution that has been brought forth somehow by Loki and Sylvie. Which the question is, are you thinking, because they did it in the first season, so I got a feeling they might not do it again. But do you think that we will have more Lokis pop up in this season, like alternate universe Lokis?
I don't sense it. I sense that they have a theme they're going with, and they're going to continue with it. I don't see a need for it. But here's the thing. If you listen to OB and what he said about pulling Loki out of the time stream, out of the time slippage, that was a virtually nearly only theoretical possibility that it would work. One in a quadrillion chance that it could work, and they pulled it off on the first try. Therefore, the problem, which is probably way harder than the ultimate problem presented to us throughout the theme of this season, was already solved. Okay? A 1 in a million chance thing they already did. Right. So everything else should be a walk in the park from here on out.
You got a good point. And he managed, when he pulled him, he managed to come with enough force to knock him and Mobius through the blast door before they closed.
You noticed it, because that was, I was like, I was like, that meme with the Wolf of Wall Street where he's pointing at the TV, right? That's exactly what I was doing. I was like, you see that? Nonsense.
Yeah, that was it, boy. I was like,
because he wasn't making it back before the doors closed in that big old Oompa Loompa suit.
oh no, he had no shot. He had no shot at all. But overall, you know what I'm saying. Now I'm not going to go out there and say this is the best thing that's ever been made. That's not true. I think me and you both can agree. Me and you both can agree that the probably the best TV show that we reviewed in the last year has been Andor.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, me and you both agree on that. But as far as what Marvel has been offering us, as far as their Disney Plus shows, this is something that you could actually be interested in. Like you said, it kind of hooked you to see what was going on,
right?
With the actual storyline, as opposed to some of that other stuff that was recently put out, some of which you didn't even watch. Miss Marvel being one of them.
I narrowly escaped that one. I wasn't sentenced to watch that one by X Cube, the jailer, and it was. I thank you for that.
Yeah, well, that was just because it came out before we started. And look, I wasn't gonna watch it. I didn't watch it till this year, and when I watched it, I was like, "This should not be a thing." When I was watching it the entire time, and then I was like, "Oh, they're gonna have a movie, The Marvels." I was like, "Oh, that's why this is a thing." Like Captain Marvel's so lame that she couldn't even get a sequel movie that was just her. That's how lame she is. Like she couldn't just get a Captain Marvel 2. She had to get the Marvels with 2 Disney Plus characters who has never been on the big screen.
How the hell did they come up with that name, the Marvels? I mean, you want to talk about lack of initiative there? Did someone get a bonus for that one? Like, what is going on?
Hey, they might that's have like having extra $300.
That's like having a superhero team on the other side and calling it Team DC. You know, like what? Huh?
That's kind of like when you if anybody plays fantasy, and you get up there, it already puts your team name, or it puts team and then whatever your name is. So like I got somebody like your name's Bob, you'd be like Team Bob. You know what I'm saying? And then you just leave it as Team Bob. You just like, is that really what you're gonna leave your name as? Yeah. That's like the Marvels. Which let's to end this episode, let's talk just a brief bit about Marvel, because we've covered pretty much everything we need to cover on Loki and their recent issues that they're having in-house currently.
You mean besides that they suck?
Yeah.
Okay. So are people getting sexually harassed over there?
Not quite yet. I don't believe so. Well, I think that happens all the time. I don't think you have any other choice. Okay. It's Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what you have to do?
Yeah. You got to get Weinstein.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that's like a prerequisite. So it's unfortunate for anybody who's trying to go into Hollywood, but just
are they going broke yet? Have they lost enough billions to throw in the towel?
Well, it kind of sounds like they're like, "Hey guys, thank God the government's just handing us checks, because if not, Bo, we'd be flat out bankrupt, dude, because we taking L's on all this stuff." So as we seen, we've got the Marvels coming up November 10th, which I can't bring myself to go watch that. I'll have to come out on Disney Plus first. I can't go to the theater and do it. I've went and watched some stuff before and that was bad, but I just can't do it. But they are projecting that particular movie to be the worst grossing MCU movie of all time. That's what they're already projecting that from the pre-sales. The worst of all time.
Back in my day, you couldn't pre-sale a movie. You just had to go and wait in line on that first day.
All right, old man. Man, so you had to go wait in a long line and be like, "Man, I hope I get a ticket." You get up there, Sorry, sir, we're sold out, bitch. You know what I'm saying? I think they said they estimated anywhere between $50 to $100 million.
Like total gross.
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible. That's
Yeah.
horrible. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
In the real world, if you work with a company and you lose them a bunch of money, you all get fired and blacklisted, never to work again. Why is that not gonna?
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen here. These people are gonna get
Mm-mm.
promoted, and they're gonna go work in other fucking companies and write other bullshit. Why is that?
Yeah, they get more jobs. They get more jobs.
Like the crazy Indian bitch who wrote the Scooby Doo. Oh, she got
Mhm.
some awesome job now. Executive something something something.
Or who's the other guy? The guy that butchered Thor, Takiti Watiti or whatever. Thor: Love and Thunder. Hold on, let me see this guy. I think it's Takiti something.
Look,
How do
man,
you
if
say
you're
this
going to be
dude's
writing
name?
about a Nordic god, your name better be Bob fucking Jones.
Oh, Takia. Yeah, this freak cup. Hold on, let me pull him up on the screen. That's what he is, bud. I mean, the dude's goofy, man. I'm like, why you got this goofy dude doing Thor? Look at this guy. I mean, New Zealand. Come on, man. Get me somebody else, bud. You got him. He's got the reins of Thor.
All these soft guys got touched as children.
They all got man said they all got touched. Oh, let me see his what he's done of late. He ain't done shit. Is this legit? Producer. Let's see what we got up here. Why am I not seeing Thor: Love and Thunder? Did he write it? Second, that ain't right.
Oh, there's different writer credits there.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so he was director. Okay, so let me do this. Let me pull this back up. He was director. So I need to go to his directors. They got producers, directors, then they just got a whole bunch of folks. I don't know if they do anything, but I know they get paid. Why do I not see what he directed? My own crack here.
Possibly.
Yeah. Did I snort a line, guys? I mean, let me know. I might have snorted a line. Well, okay. So, it doesn't seem that he directed anything. That's what they're attributing this guy to. Like, don't give him any props for directing.
Maybe he was ashamed.
Okay? Oh man, don't give him any props. But anyway, this is the guy that you got directing a Thor movie. You got this guy. I mean, it's just like, dude, and you just look at the other stuff that he's been a producer of. You're like, I mean, fry bread, face me, red, white, and bright. I mean, what is this stuff, man? Shorts, Night Raiders, Baby Done. I mean, you're like, that's who y'all giving Thor to? I mean, you see what I'm saying? It's just like, it's like poor choices. And so we've got the Marvels is tanking. They have completely pushed everything back that was going on Disney Plus. I'm talking about everything. Dude, we were supposed to have, and this is the indication of how shitty this series is going to be. But Echo was supposed to come out next month, which I don't know why you got the damn making a Disney Plus series of a deaf chick. I mean, I only know she ain't got no powers.
Because you got to have some ableist shit in there, man. You got to get some bitch in a wheelchair. You got to do all that stuff. You know, a dude with one eyebrow, like all that stuff's got to be in there.
Is that the way it is?
Yes. So I don't know if you actually ever watched Star Trek. What is this last one they did? Discovery. It was pure trash. Pure fucking trash. Okay. I swear to God, throughout the first couple seasons, they had like 3 different characters who were in like wheelchairs. I'm like, you made your fucking point. Jesus Christ, the only white guy in the whole show was a fucking flaming gay dude, right? So, like, it was, I'm offended at the lack of racial diversity in this fucking show. That's what we're getting. it's an epidemic across all fucking Hollywood.
Man said the racial diversity was not good. Oh yeah, but the Echo show, the show was going to be so bad that they were just going to release all the episodes at one time, all 5. They just like, man, just watch it. Just put it out. They ain't no needed. They ain't no suspense.
Well,
here.
I guess
just put all of them out.
So I guess with Daredevil was such shit, they fucking scrapped the whole thing and are starting over.
They fired everybody. They fired everybody.
That tells me that somebody's got some balls that they're growing in a flower pot over there somewhere. Okay, that flower pot needs to be a whole garden of balls, and they need to just come down on the industry with an axe.
Dude, Ironheart, which was supposed to be, Black Iron Man, Black Woman Iron Man.
Oh, wait a minute.
The one from
Black Woman Iron Man.
The one from Black Panther Wakanda Forever. The smart black chick who made the Iron Man suit.
I just don't understand why they got to recycle all these characters. Like,
she was in the comics.
Well, I mean, okay, so here's an amazing character that was black from day one, and that's Cyborg. What an amazing character Cyborg is. It's an original character. They didn't have to bite that off of nothing else. Why do they have to continue to bite off people's shit? Nobody wants to see black female fucking Iron Man. I'm sorry. And it's not even a racist thing. It's just stupid. Okay? Fuck.
Yeah, but the bad thing about that is that show's done. Like, they've already filmed it. And they're like, yeah, we're not releasing that in like 2025 or 2026. I'm like, damn. The shit's done. They filmed all the episodes. It was supposed to release. Dude, they were supposed to have like 5 different shows released this year. They were like,
okay, so it's obvious they have a voice of reason somewhere in the chain of command. Where is that voice of reason before they start filming? Where is
I don't know.
They should have somebody out there with like a whip and be like, nope, you ain't doing that. Whip, and then they whip them.
Dude, the Blade movie, the guy who's supposed to be playing Blade, they're gonna have to find somebody else.
Why, you can be too old?
Yeah, but they don't even know when it's gonna release now.
That's a shame because Blade is one of the best. Hands down, Blade is one of the best characters that's ever existed in Marvel. Why? Because he ain't saving the universe, right? He's not saving the universe. He's fighting Deacon Frost, and the whole world of Blade is amazing because you got the pureblood vampires, and then you have the turned vampires who are on to revolt. So there's some political tension between them and how they do things. Blade has such amazing potential for an entire universe, and even the past Blade movies, like 2 and 3, were kind of like. The second one was pretty good, where he gets to team up with the vampires. Conceptually, it was good. Execution was And then the third one, where they actually have Dracula in it. Execution, again, not too great, but it was a good storyline. Plus, you have the Blade overlaps with Morbius, and the Blade overlaps with like Tomb of Dracula. And there's all kinds of stuff. Then you have the Blade overlap with Ghost Rider, right? The Midnight Riders. So there's so much stuff they could do there, and it's a shame to see that they're dropping the ball on that once again.
Oh yeah, they dropping the ball heavily, and the reason why they're scrapping Daredevil is because they were going to go the route of She-Hulk. It was going to be like a whole bunch of court proceedings, and he wasn't even going to be in his suit till after episode 4. I'm like,
hey, the superhero is a blind guy. Can we just not have any people in wheelchairs in this show?
He said we already got enough pity out here, okay? He said we don't need no more. So that's some of the things going on with Marvel right now. So they're a little bit in disarray. They're trying to get things back together. So maybe they can actually start making money again. Because it was Marvel was a cash cow from 2008 up to 2019. Shit.
Here's the problem. It's the same problem with Star Wars. It's too much of a good thing, So when the original Star Wars came out, the prequel trilogies, right? Back in '99 was the first one. The level of anticipation was over the top. We'll never ever see anything like it ever again. And they've just the reason it was so good was because there was so little of it. There were 3 movies, and then 30 years go by, and there's nothing else, right? 25 years go by. So that's what makes things great. Is absence makes the heart grow fonder. Okay, so but when you get a new fucking Marvel movie every year that's connected to the last one, that they think you're going to have to go see the other one to watch this one, and then all it does is end up pissing people off. And next thing you know, you got 20 freaking Avenger movies that nobody cares about or can keep up with anymore, right? Like, you don't want to give the kid the whole candy store ever.
Well, their execution was better years ago too, as far as, and you didn't have the overcrowding with the Disney Plus series, which the Disney Plus series could be, the ones they do could be good, but they've got to flush the characters out more, and as you said, they got to keep it more localized.
Or maybe these Marvel people are too close to it, right? Look at the best comic movies that come out. They weren't from Marvel Studios or DC Studios. They were from damn Sony, the Spider-Man films.
Right.
They were outsourced, right? They were not too close to it. Maybe people who worked on it were true fans of it and could appreciate it from a distance because they weren't right in the middle of it. But maybe being so close to it, they feel like they got carte blanche to do whatever, and that's where everything's going wrong. Whereas if an outside person, a fan of the series or a fan of the comics in general, maybe would take better care of it, try to stick closer to the feeling of the originals, whereas people working directly for Marvel are just like, oh, we can just write whatever the hell we want.
Right. And I think one of the issues is that they're trying to introduce us to too many fringe characters that nobody cares about, like Miss Marvel. When they told me they were going to have an Agatha Harkness Disney Plus series, I'm like, why? Agatha Harkness? I'm like, she wasn't even that great a villain in WandaVision. Wanda was the villain. She was the protagonist and the antagonist. I mean, that was the whole purpose of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because she held a whole city hostage, made them where they had no will of their own. I mean, so she was the antagonist of the shit the whole time, and then you had Agatha Harkness, out there trying to do something, man. I'm just like, and they're like, oh, she's gonna have a Disney Plus show. I'm like, who is she? You know what I'm saying? She was just in this, but I'm like, I don't think anybody cares. It's like Echo. Oh, Echo needs a TV show. Echo, she was in Hawkeye. I mean, I got you. No, she don't need a TV show. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like some of these people don't need a TV show. Miss Marvel don't need a TV show. If you want to sprinkle her in somewhere, just sprinkle her in there. Fuck a backstory and all that. Just put her somewhere in there. She don't need a TV show. So it's like some of these characters is like they're not interested enough themselves to have a TV show overall. Because really the two big players as far as in the MCU, Wanda and Loki, I say have had the better TV shows is because they have more familiarity and they feel more powerful overall. You know what I'm saying? As far as Loki and Wanda. So some of these other fringe things, even Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I'm not saying that was the worst thing I've seen, but it's just like the Falcon is just like, he's just a dude,
right,
man, in a suit. And making him Captain America, I'm like, is he going to take some super soldier serum sometime? Look, at some point in time, he going to need to be to take the damn serum, okay? Somebody needs to come up with something. He just ain't going to be running around in this Captain America costume with no powers. It just seems weird.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it just seems really weird. The only one that technically didn't have powers would be Black Widow. But in the comics, she technically takes a super soldier serum, but it doesn't make her like, quote unquote, like Captain America type of super soldier. It kind of enhances different parts about her. But you kind of need your characters that don't have any powers and and they're giving them shows and stuff like that. It's just like, and making them main characters, like, we're gonna have the Captain America movie. I guess the Falcon being Captain America. It's like, maybe it could be good, but how good do you think it could be? You know what I'm saying? It's like, because you're taking away from the Captain America. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You would almost be like, I need Chris Evans back here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like he's been Captain America. So I mean, how do you feel about that? You feel like we're flooding with too many characters?
Yes, and I don't see the need to recycle characters with new people. I don't at all. I never really appreciated it in the comics. I understand why they did it in the comics, but I never really appreciated it. I am much more okay with constant reboots and a retelling of original old storylines than I am with coming up with new storylines for a new character in an old Batsuit. Like, there's
Right.
no,
Okay.
like, you got like Batwing and Nightwing who are like Batman Juniors. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
in the DC line. One of them was Grayson, like Robin became Batwing, and so
Mm-hmm.
or no, he was Nightwing. And then you had Batwing, which basically looks like Batman but different colors in the suit. Like, and so it's like I never liked the recycling of ideas like this. You know,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
even if it's like an apprentice, I understand the need for like an apprentice who could be like a kind of miniature version of your character. But other than that, like I just can they really not come up with some good new superhero with some original storyline stuff? I mean, are we just out of ideas? Is humanity done? Are we just literally out of fucking ideas? Can we just not come
Yeah.
up with anything else that we got to recycle Batman for the 700th time? I mean, like, what is going on with humanity and our just ability to tell a story? Is it just gone away?
Yeah. You know what's happening, right? Just outsource it to AI. Everybody's outsourcing everything to AI, so nobody's actually doing any creative thinking anymore.
I don't know if I buy that. I don't know that any AI stories are making it into Hollywood because that was part of the writer's
No,
strike deal.
no, I'm not saying that any AI stories are making it, but if you look around at, so I'll look at TikTok and I'll look at different things, and you see it pop up all the time. It's like, oh, how to make your life easier. Take and pop this into AI. Take and pop that in AI. Well, nobody's going to be creative anymore. So if AI is not going to have the creativity, and nobody's been exercising their brain and trying to do anything creative their whole lives, they've just been popping into AI. Folks won't even make videos anymore. It's like, hey, don't worry about making videos. Type up what your topic is, and let AI make the video for you, and then make a channel. It's like, doesn't it take the whole purpose out of it? You know what I'm saying? Of somebody showing their skill as far as them being creative, being able to capture an audience, being going through the process, researching it. I mean, it's kind of taking all that out. So I think technology is a good thing, but sometimes it can be detrimental to the actual development in our imagination as well. So
That's true. It's very true.
So that's something that we'll have to look out for in the future. Now, one last thing before we close out, Feige. There's some rumblings that Feige had said that Avengers: Secret Wars is going to be a soft reboot for Marvel.
Well,
What do you think about that? What do you think
the
about
way
that?
things are going, I'm not against it. But do we really need it? How about we just don't get any Marvel movies for like 5 years?
Mm,
That'd be the best solution. Then people can forget about all this crap, and then they can start over and be like, "Oh, we don't know what you're talking about. We didn't make those movies." Wink, wink.
You think it's just gonna work like
They
that?
could.
That wouldn't us.
They just replace all the people, and they're good to go again.
That wasn't us. It'd be like it definitely was y'all. Wasn't
That
us.
was an alternate timeline. We don't know what you're talking about. We had a crossing
That's
of the
what we got.
multiverse.
That's what we got, multiversal. So we hope y'all enjoyed this episode of Showtime with the Cube. We'll be back with you. We're going to be talking about the Meg this week. We're going to see what Corey's schedule's like. We're going to talk about the Meg and the Meg 2, which I think is some of Corey's favorite films.
Yep, but give you a sneak peek. I like Meg 1 better than Meg 2, but we'll get to that.
Ooh. Ooh. The original is usually always better than the sequel.
Yeah, this one was, I don't know. It was okay. It was a little over the top, little too easy storyline resolution stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I like the first one better because he got dragged into that situation. He didn't want to go, and he went and he saved the day. This one, he was all about it. So
yeah, he's kind of.
And then there was
like
dinosaurs running around, which was crazy, and big octopus. Like, well, I don't know what's going on here. The execution could have been a little better. Okay, they could have done a little bit more Jurassic Park style stuff, but.
Right. So we're going to be bringing it to y'all. We're going to have the the episode of Loki that we'll be talking about again next week. That'll come up this end of this week, and then I'm actually going to get on the Continental, which has actually came out. I just got to.
There's been absolutely zero buzz about this fucking thing. Zero.
Nothing.
Nada.
I hadn't seen anybody say anything about it. Dude, I haven't seen anything on TikTok. I've seen nothing. Zero. And like, there's a bunch of movie people who pop up on my TikTok. I've seen nothing at all. I'm like, did the shit come out? I mean, I knew it came out. It was a 3-part special, and I don't know if all 3 parts came out at the same time or not. But it was supposedly a 3-part special, so I'm on I think it's on Peacock, so I'm gonna get Peacock. We're gonna share that with Corey. That way we can both check it out and see what we think about the prequel with Winston. So we'll have that coming up for y'all within the next 2-3 weeks or so. So I hope y'all did enjoy this week's episode of Showtime with the Cube. We'll have more for you near the end of this week. From your boy HQ420, co-host Corey Hughes. We'll catch y'all on the next Showtime with the Cube. Peace out.